sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Here at NMG, we are working very hard to ensure your favorite publications, Daily Nation, Business Daily, Taifa Leo and the East African are readily available. In a bid to support the efforts to prevent the transmission of COVID-19, NMG has ensured our staff, our distributors and their staff adhere to set guidelines. At our printing plant, all staff are required to wash their hands before entering the factory and must be wearing a mask. All workers either change their clothes on entering the factory or wear an overcoat. We are keeping doors open to avoid our staff touching door handles repeatedly. With our automated printing, contact with the newspaper is kept to a minimum, and at the packing process, the staff observe social distancing. Vehicles used to transport the newspapers are disinfected daily before the newspapers are loaded, and our delivery staff all wear masks and wash their hands regularly. Our vendors ensure that they sanitize every time they handle money and wear their masks at all times. NMG is proud to be able to safely meet your information needs. Stay safe, stay informed with our favorite NMG publications.
Taking stock of the Sandbox regulatory framework.
Many have argued that it is a belated attempt by regulators such as CMA to try and catch up with the blockchain and crypto-backed assets.
Can the Sandbox regulatory framework boost product innovation in Kenya's capital markets?
We've been testing things to do with securities lending and borrowing platforms, for example, crowdfunding platforms. You are looking at tokenization of assets.
In the next edition of Business Redefined, we have a conversation with the manager for corporate approvals at the Capital Markets Authority for a focus on this and more.
Huyo jamaa unaangalia hapo unamdespise atiana form. Hey, shida. Mungu halali, kuna day utapatana na yeye ameomoka mbaya. Gari ni ile nono na life inamwendea fiti. Na wewe umechapa. Mako. Do hivi, jisort na umorio. Mjenge life. Usije ukaregret maze.
To get Jisort na Morio by Vuma, dial *811 *930#. Skiza na Nation.
Get fresh, gotta get fresh.
Down is no boom boom pow, down is boom boom pow. Smells baya na uchafuzi na zidi na improve downy. Protect nguo zangu na nukia niko safi. Lazima niwe fresh na down is boom boom pow. Boom boom pow, down is no boom boom pow. Smells zote na zi boom boom pow. Powerful freshness, down is boom boom pow. Nani 15 bob too?
Baram pam turut tut turut baram pam turut tut turut baram pam turut tut turut tut turut tut turut.
Dirt and germs shouldn't get in your way. Carex hand wash, your trusted antibacterial protection, cleans, cares and protects you and your family for life's little adventures. Say yes to life.
Good.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Did you know it is against the law to ignore a suspension notice? A suspension notice is issued on an active construction site if the site does not not meet the set construction guidelines and standard. Any contractor, developer or construction worker who continues to work on a suspended site will be arrested and charged, liable to a fine of 1 million shillings or a jail term not exceeding 3 years or more. Construction work can only resume after compliance of all the items in the quality assurance checklist and obtaining a lifting suspension order. To find out more, log on to www.nca.go.ke. National Construction Authority. Excellence in construction.
The risk of illness causing germs is increasing. It is believed that the coronavirus can remain on surfaces in your home for up to 9 days. Touching infected surfaces is one of the ways in which germs spread. Regularly disinfect your floors, countertops, and kitchen surfaces with bleach, and use an effective toilet cleaner inside and outside your toilet bowl. This message is brought to you by Medifacts, JIG, and Harpic.
This is NTV.
Naam, masal khairi mpenzi mtazamaji popote ulipo, na ni sana wakati mwingine tena tunapokutana katika meza ya NTV jioni. Sasa wazee wa vijiweni, na ninasema ni wazee wa vijiweni, sio wale wazee wa busara. Wanasema atokae chumbani kwa mama asubuhi na taulo, huyu ndiye baba. Ashakumsimatusi na haina mjadala. Tuna mengi zaidi ambayo tumekuandalia jioni hii, lakini kama kawaida tunaanza kwa vipasho usiku huu.
Mimi kama kiongozi wa assembly nikadecide kuita members wote tuje tufanye test kwa pamoja, na katika matokeo waheshimiwa 7 walipatikana positive.
Bunge la kaunti ya Mombasa lafungwa ghafla baada ya madiwani 7 kuambukizwa corona.
Wanasiasa waache tabia mbaya, kwa sababu ni tabia mbaya wewe unafanya siasa zako.
Wahudumu wa afya walaumu wanasiasa kufuatia kuchacha upya kwa maambukizi ya corona ambayo yameua watu 14 leo. Bunge la kitaifa lalenga kupitisha sheria za kura ya maamuzi ya BBI kabla ya likizo ya Krismasi. Na Watanzania wajiandaa kwa uchaguzi mkuu wa rais kesho, huku polisi wakizima ghasia visiwani Zanzibar.
Mbashara kutoka jumba la Nation. Hii ni NTV Jioni na Salim Swaleh.
Naam, asante sana kwa kuchagua na kutuenzi hapa kama kitovu cha habari za kweli na uhakika. Upande wa pili wa studio anayetusaidia katika lugha ishara ni David Agondoa. Mtazamaji, matangazo haya vile vile yanapatikana mubashara kabisa katika mitandao yetu yote ya kijamii @NTV Kenya. Tukianza basi, wajumbe 7 katika bunge la kaunti ya Mombasa wameambukizwa virusi vya corona, huku mfanyakazi mmoja vile vile akithibitishwa kupata ugonjwa huo. Sasa bunge hilo limefungwa kwa muda wa wiki 2 zaidi, huku Spika Khatri akisisitiza kwamba ni lazima bunge hilo linyunyiziwe dawa kabla ya shughuli kurejelea kwa kawaida. Huku haya kijiri, mtazamaji, hospitali ya Likoni imefungwa baada ya wahudumu kadhaa wa afya kuthibitishwa kuambukizwa COVID-19. Mwanahabari wetu wa masuala ya eneo la Pwani Kevin Mutai analikunjua jamvi la NTV jioni kwa uketo wa taarifa hiyo.
Bunge la kaunti ya Mombasa limefungwa kwa muda wa wiki 2 baada ya wimbi la COVID-19 kuyumbisha meli iliyokuwa imewabeba wawakilishi wadi 42. Kati yao madiwani 7 wamethibitishwa kuambukizwa ugonjwa huo. Iliwabidi maafisa wa afya pia kuwapima wafanyikazi wanaohudumu hapa bungeni, na mmoja kati yao alipatikana virusi hivyo.
Mkasa umetupata katika county assembly ya Mombasa, ambao kwamba kuna member wetu mmoja alikuwa amelipatikana positive. So mimi kama kiongozi wa assembly nikadecide kuita members wote tuje tufanye test kwa pamoja, which tukafanya test. Vipimo tulifanya wiki iliyopita, ambao tukapata matokeo, na katika matokeo kulitokezea waheshimiwa 7 ambao walipatikana positive.
Kulingana na spika wa bunge la Mombasa, Harub Katri, wawakilishi waliopata ugonjwa huo wanauguzwa majumbani na kwamba hakuna anayehitaji huduma za kulazwa hospitalini. Aidha, shughuli za kutafuta waliotangamana nao zinaendelea, huku maafisa wa afya wakisema watarudia kupima tena wiki ijayo ili kudhibitisha hali yao.
Wanaendelea vizuri, hawana shida kubwa. Shida ambao walikuwa wanalalamikia ni kwamba walikuwa hawana test ya chakula na wanasikia kichwa kinawauma. So tunashukuru Mungu, hawako serious na hawako hospitali na wako majumbani.
Huku hayo yakijiri, hospitali ndogo ya Likoni imefungwa baada ya wahudumu kadhaa wa afya kuthibitishwa kuambukizwa homa ya corona. Itakumbukwa kuwa siku chache zilizopita shule 2 zilifungwa baada ya walimu na wanafunzi kuambukizwa COVID-19, huku maafisa wa elimu wakisema kwamba hakuna dalili zozote za kufunga shule zingine.
As normal, because government loves its people, if it discovers that there's going to be a very bad scenario, of course it will take very drastic action. And that will take us back to where we've come from, where life was almost impossible. You can't go to work, you can't earn a living, you can't do business, you can't travel. Do we really want to go back there? I think it's important that we observe rules are set, because these rules are for the good of the entire nation.
Maafisa wa afya wanahofia kwamba huenda ikawa ni wimbi la pili la virusi vya corona, kwani maambukizi yanaendelea kuenea zaidi katika kila pembe ya taifa na hata katika mataifa mengine duniani.
Huku visa vya COVID-19 vikiendelea kushuhudiwa katika maeneo tofauti humu nchini, Wakenya wametakiwa kuchukua tahadhari kwa kufuata masharti yaliyowekwa na Wizara ya Afya ili kukabiliana na janga hili. Kevin Mutai, NTV, katika kaunti ya Mombasa.
Na asante sana Kevin Mutai, tunatumai kwamba afueni itapatikana katika bunge la kaunti hiyo na vile vile katika hospitali ndogo ya Likoni katika kaunti ya Nakuru. Mtazamaji, wa hudumu wa afya hasa maafisa wa kliniki wamelalamikia kile wanachokitaja ni tabia mbaya ya wanasiasa kukungamana pamoja na kuongoza mikutano ya hadhara pasina kuzingatia kanuni za kudhibiti corona. Wakizungumza katika kaunti hiyo, viongozi wa maafisa wa kliniki wanasema kuwa wahudumu wa afya wamo hatarini kwa kukosa vifaa kinga, hasa katika kipindi hiki ambapo maambukizi ya corona yamekuwa yakipanda kila uchao, sio tu nchini Kenya lakini vile vile katika mataifa mengine ya ulimwengu. Kumbuka kuna mjadala kwamba huenda sasa kuna wimbi la pili la maambukizi ya virusi vya corona katika mataifa mbalimbali. Ukiangalia katika mataifa kama vile Italia, tayari kumetangazwa upya sheria za kutotoka nje kwa watu baada ya mchamko wa corona kuibuka upya. Kwa hiyo ni taarifa ambayo tunaendelea kukuandalia, na mwandishi wetu Ruth Sarmoi atakuwa nakuletea mengi zaidi kutoka Nakuru kuhusiana na kilio hicho cha maafisa wa kliniki. Tukisonga mbele mtazamaji, katika taarifa nyingine ni kwamba siku moja baada ya BBI kuzinduliwa katika ukumbi wa Bomas, NTV imebaini kwamba huenda mchakato wa kupitisha sheria zinazoambatana na kuandaliwa kwa kura maamuzi ukakamilishwa bungeni kabla ya likizo ya mwezi Disemba mwaka huu. Aidha, kuna uwezekano kwamba mswada wa marekebisho ya katiba hautobadilishwa kwa vyovyote vile kama njia ya kuzuia vizingiti. Ripota wetu masuala ya kisiasa Kennedy Mureithi naambiwa ndio anamalizia ripoti hiyo. Tutakuwa tunakuletea baadaye kidogo. Turudi nyuma kidogo katika taarifa hiyo yake Ruth Sarmoi, ambapo sasa wahudumu wa afya wanalalamikia kile ambacho wanasema ni tabia mbaya ya wanasiasa kuandaa mikutano bila kuzingatia kanuni za COVID-19.
Wahudumu wa afya wametahadharisha Wakenya wanaokiuka masharti yaliyotolewa kudhibiti kusambaa kwa ugonjwa wa corona, huku wakionya kuwa wimbi jipya limevamia nchi na kwamba limekuja kwa kasi na hatari kubwa zaidi.
It is no longer in doubt that we are in the second wave and the curve is rising steadily than the first wave. We, the frontline healthcare workers, are having to bear the burden as admission soar more medical contract the virus, with some paying the ultimate praise. As we speak, we have lost 2 clinical officers for the last 1 month, and over 310 clinical officers have been infected.
Huku akisema kuwa kuna uwezekano wa kukosa vitanda vya kuwalaza wagonjwa wa virusi hivi kutokana na ongezeko la idadi ya maambukizi. Wahudumu hao sasa wanataka serikali kutoa vifaa kinga ili kuzuia msambao wa virusi hivi kwao.
We have revisited several facilities, and only all of them who we have found seeing patients are using surgical masks, which the quality has been doubted. And we must say that that is against the policy of the government, where we spend a lot of money coming up with those policies.
Viongozi hao sasa wanapendekeza kupunguzwa kwa mikutano vya kisiasa, kuongezwa kwa vituo vya kujitenga katika vituo vya afya, na pia kuongeza idadi ya vitanda katika hospitali za kaunti. Vile vile, wahudumu hao wanaitaka serikali kulipa pesa za matibabu za wahudumu wa afya watakaoambukizwa corona.
All health workers with pre-existing disease and condition, those who are pregnant and those who are above 55 years of age, be excused from active duty until this transmission is actually addressed and managed. More healthcare workers be employed to manage the rising COVID-19 morbidity burden in the country.
Wanasiasa waache tabia mbaya, kwa sababu ni tabia mbaya. Wewe unafanya siasa zako, unaleta watu pamoja, unafanya waambukizwe, wakikufa jamani, hiyo BBI yako itakusaidia na nini? Let us be responsible, do your politics responsibly. We are not giving an ultimatum. But if they are not going to heed to the recommendations that we are giving them, you are going to see us together with all the other associations and unions very soon. And then, if it means we must create a crisis, then we'll do that.
Huku hayo yakijiri, Kenya imerekodi visa vipya 836 vya maambukizi vya corona kutokana na sampuli 4,076 zilizopimwa katika saa 24 yaliyopita. Sasa maambukizi jumla ya corona hapa nchini yamefika 50,833. Miongoni mwa wagonjwa hao wapya 822 ni wa Kenya na 14 ni raia wa kigeni. Watu 403 wamepona corona kwa saa 24 yaliyopita kufikisha 34,832 idadi jumla ya waliopona hapa nchini. Vile vile idadi ya waliofariki imepanda hadi 934 baada ya watu 14 zaidi kufariki leo. Kaunti ya Nairobi inaongoza kwa wingi wa maambukizi leo, ikifuatwa na Uasin Gishu, Mombasa, Kiambu, Nakuru na Laikipia.
Naam, Ruth Sarmoe, mwandishi wetu wa mjini Nakuru. Bila shaka mtazamaji, sasa nampisha Kennedy Muraidhi na taarifa yake kuhusiana na radiamali ya wanasiasa na viongozi mbalimbali kuhusiana na ripoti ya BBI iliyozinduliwa hiyo jana.
Baada ya ripoti ya BBI kuzinduliwa rasmi ukumbini Bomas Jumatatu, mdahalo sasa umegeukia utekelezaji, huku kambi tofauti za kisiasa zikiibuka. Wanaounga mkono mrengo wa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta na kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga wanatoa msukumo wa kuharakishwa kwa shughuli zilizosalia ili kuhakikisha kuna wakati wa kutosha wa kuandaa kura ya maamuzi kabla ya uchaguzi mkuu. Wanawasuta wakereketo wa naibu wa Rais William Ruto kwa kile wanachodai ni kuibua vijisababu vya kupunguza kasi ya mchakato mzima.
I was very surprised today to then hear people now bringing in their submissions afresh. And it came from different people. Oh, I've looked at it and this does not. Yet they are perhaps failing to appreciate that there must come a time when the process of collecting views and drafting and redrafting must come to an end.
And those who say they want an opportunity to give further views, I think they will have an opportunity at the stage of public participation.
Akihojiwa kipekee na NTV, kiongozi wa wengi katika bunge la kitaifa Amos Kimunya alisema mikakati imewekwa kuhakikisha bunge litaweza kupitia miswada yote inayoambatana na kura ya maamuzi haraka iwezekanavyo ili kufanikisha kura ya maamuzi kabla ya uchaguzi mkuu.
The laws that we require to facilitate the referendum will be ready, I would say almost before we go in December for the long recess. Because there's a commitment.
As far as the constitutional amendment bill that is contained in this document is concerned, this is the bill that starts from page 57 of the report. This bill is sealed. The constitutional amendment bill, we are not going to reopen these discussions that have taken 2 years.
Wandani wa Rais Kenyatta na Raila wana wasiwasi kuhusu hatua ya rais kutotoa mwelekeo wa taratibu za kufuatwa katika utekelezaji wa BBI ukumbini Bomas na kutawala kwa hoja kinzani na naibu wake Ruto.
It is now incumbent upon the BBI task force, the President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, to give a clear roadmap for the people of Kenya so that we can put to rest this topic on BBI.
Aidha, kuna nia ya kuzuia marekebisho ya sheria iliyochapishwa na kamati maalum ya BBI ya kubadilisha katiba, huku wandani wa rais na Raila wakihofia malumbano zaidi yatasambaratisha mswada huo.
There is no issue that you put on the table, including what food should we eat today.
But isn't
that
that
you
the
received
point? Because
a consensus for the 47 million.
Yes, because
so that's why you go for a referendum, and within a referendum, you then say there is what percentage, must the law pass by, so that we know that the majority of Kenyans supported it or not.
At least from the counties that are run by ODM, we know that they are ready to pass this document by January. We will have almost all the counties having passed this document. We will not entertain people who want to reopen a discussion that they refused to participate in when the process was going on.
One of the challenges that BBI goes through is that it is one of the most mysterious constitutional changing process, which is almost like a private, it's almost like a privatized process.
Kennedy Muredhi, NTV.
Naam, asante sana Kennedy Muredhi. Mpenzi mtazamaji, tunapata mapumziko ya kwanza hapa NTV Jioni, lakini wewe usibanduke hapo ulipo, maana kuna mengi zaidi katika kapu letu hili halijapungua hata kidogo.
The Samsung BlueTech sale is backed by popular demand. Up to 20% off on selected mobile devices, along with additional 50% screen replacement offer on the Galaxy S20 series. Enjoy up to 30% off on selected TVs, refrigerators, washing machines, and other home appliances. Don't miss out on these unbeatable deals. Visit your nearest participating Samsung dealer store to enjoy this and many more offers.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
All day, we expect our mouth to do all kinds of things. That is why it needs all-round protection. New Oral-B Pro Health toothpaste. Its advanced technology helps prevent both tooth holes and gum problems that can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your teeth, giving them all-round protection. Because your mouth is doing more than you think. New Oral-B Pro Health. All-round protection for your whole mouth.
Hello, Susan. Yes, you. Holding that pack. I know you've been avoiding me because in the past I've made you uncomfortable. Maybe even caused you pain. But I want you to know that I have changed. For you.
Hey, what is this?
You can love me again if you're willing to give me another chance. Meet me at aisle 4. Hey, Susan.
It's lactose free.
know you love milk, and now there is milk that loves you. With Gold Crown lactose-free milk, you can enjoy the richness of natural cow's milk without any of the digestion discomfort. Gold Crown lactose-free, milk that loves you.
Mkate kweli ni selector, ukikula kwanza na kachai. Tunasema mkate gani tamu zaidi, wenye afya tele tena to zaidi. Bei yake bado ni ile ile nafuu, na unapatikana karibu na wewe. Selector, selector, selector. Mkate ni selector.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Geisha shea butter and honey, made with the goodness of shea butter to moisturize dry skin.
Be strong and last long. Miaka 20 safari anza ya kutuunganisha kama Wakenya. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Let's go beyond. Mimi na wewe tukibuni, kazi nzuri ya kujivunia. Let's go beyond, let's go beyond. Kwa juhudi na matumaini, twaelekea kesho pamoja. Twende tukiuke, twende tukiuke. Safaricom.
Naam, karibu tena mtazamaji, tuendelee na taarifa za NTV Jioni. Mkuu wa polisi nchini Tanzania Simon Siro anasema watu 42 wametiwa mbaroni visiwani Zanzibar kwa madai ya kuwashambulia polisi. Polisi nchini humo vile vile wamekana madai kwamba kulikuwa na ulaghai katika shughuli ya kusambaza masanduku ya kupigia kura visiwani humo. Fujo zimeshuhudiwa katika maeneo mbalimbali visiwani Zanzibar leo asubuhi, siku moja tu kabla ya Watanzania kuelekea katika masanduku ya kupigia kura kumchagua rais, wabunge pamoja na madiwani.
Saa chache baada ya fujo za Jumanne asubuhi kisiwani Zanzibar, jeshi la polisi nchini Tanzania limesema limejizatiti ipasavyo kukabiliana na vitendo vyovyote vya kuvuruga amani. Chama cha upinzani cha ACT Wazalendo kilidai polisi walihusika na kisa cha mauaji ya watu wawili kisiwani Pemba Jumatatu. Wafuasi wa chama hicho walifanya maandamano kukashifu mauaji hayo pamoja na kuitaka serikali kutoa taarifa kuhusiana na madai ya wizi wa kura katika uchaguzi ulioanza Jumanne hii katika kisiwa hicho cha Zanzibar. Uchaguzi wa mapema unayalenga makundi maalum ya watu.
Sisi jeshi la polisi tumejipanga vizuri kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna uvunjifu wa amani na wala hakuna kikundi chochote kitakachotishia mwananchi ambaye anatakiwa kwenda kupiga kura asiende kupiga kura. Lakini na wale ambao watakaojitokeza kutaka kuleta uvunjifu wa amani tutawashughulikia kwa mujibu wa sheria.
Aidha, mkuu wa polisi Simon Siro anasema polisi hawakuwa na budi kutumia vitoa machozi kudhibiti fujo za Jumanne, kwani zilitishia kuvuruga amani na usalama wa raia. Picha ambazo hatukuweza kuthibitisha asili yake zinaonyesha maafisa wa polisi wanaodaiwa kuwa wa Zanzibar wakiwatandika vibaya wafuasi wa chama cha ACT Wazalendo, huku baadhi ya maafisa wakiwalenga raia hao kwa bunduki. Katika picha nyingine, polisi walikabiliwa kwa mawe na waandamanaji kiasi cha kukurukakara kuchacha mjini. Zanzibar ina historia ya ghasia wakati wa uchaguzi. Hivyo basi siku maalum ilitengwa kwa ajili ya watu wa makundi fulani kuweza kupiga kura kabla ya siku halisi ya uchaguzi, ambayo wakati huu ni Jumatano tarehe 28 Oktoba. Ripoti za awali zilidai kwamba mgombea urais kisiwani Zanzibar Maalim Seif Sharif Hamad alikuwa ametiwa mbaroni kabla ya kuachiliwa, ila polisi wamekanusha hilo. Uchaguzi mkuu wa Tanzania utafanyika chini ya saa 12 huku kukiwa na wagombea urais 15. Hata hivyo, ushindani mkuu ni kati ya rais wa sasa John Pombe Magufuli wa CCM na wakili Tundu Antiphas Mughwai Lissu wa chama cha upinzani Chadema.
Taifa hili ni la Watanzania. Kamwe tusibaguane kwa sababu ya dini. Kamwe tusibaguane kwa sababu ya makabila. Kamwe tusibaguane kwa sababu ya maeneo.
Watu milioni 29 wamesajiliwa kupiga kura nchini Tanzania, huku vituo vya kupiga kura vikitarajiwa kufunguliwa Jumatano saa 1 asubuhi. Leila Mohamed, NTV.
Naam, tunawatakia ndugu zetu wa Tanzania uchaguzi wenye amani na wenye utulivu hapo kesho. Tukisonga mbele, tume ya uwiano nchini NCIC hii leo imetoa mafunzo kwa zaidi ya machifu 20 katika kaunti ya Nyeri kuhusu namna ya kutambua na kudhibiti matamshi ya kichochezi. Machifu wametakiwa kuwa macho na kuwachukulia hatua za kisheria watu wakiwemo wanasiasa ambao wanatumia majukwaa mbalimbali kwa ajili ya kueneza chuki na uchochezi. Melita Oletenges na mengi zaidi.
Machifu wapatao 25 walipokea mafunzo kutoka Tume ya Uwiano na Utangamano NCIC mjini Nyeri kuwaelimisha kuhusu jinsi ya kutambua na kukabiliana na matamshi ya chuki na uchochezi.
To sensitize them on matters hate speech and also get from the members issues that might be undermining national cohesion within Nyeri County.
At the moment they tell us, hata kama mkutano inaendelea, sisi tutakuwa tu tunachukua microphone na mkutano tunasema kuisha na watu wanaenda nyumbani.
Tume ya NCIC vilevile imewaonya wanasiasa dhidi ya kueneza chuki katika mikutano ya kisiasa, hasa baada ya kuzinduliwa kwa ripoti ya BBI.
From wherever side of the divide you belong, whether you are supporting BBI or opposed to BBI, just do it in a civil manner. Don't incite citizens against other citizens.
Everybody is welcome in this town, but tafadhali tuchuge ulimi yetu so that tusi incite vijana waanze kupigana.
Wale wanaoeneza chuki na uchochezi katika mitandao ya kijamii pia watakiona cha mtema kuni.
Hate speech has moved from the traditional public rallies and social gatherings to the social media platform. This is Facebook and WhatsApp and the likes. And like you have correctly put, we are having several interventions to address this issue.
Machifu waliopokea mafunzo hayo sasa watatakiwa kuwa waangalifu kuzuia kutokea kwa ghasia zinazosababishwa na uchochezi katika maeneo yao. Melita Oletenges, NTV.
Naam, mtazamaji, taarifa yake Melita Oletenges kutoka Nyeri inatuhitimishia sehemu yetu ya pili ya NTV Jioni. Usiondoke hapo ulipo, narudi na mengi zaidi michezoni.
I wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap with activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and new Geisha Moringa.
Parenting is all about learning when to be tough and when to be gentle. Tough, gentle. But when it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Tough call. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Happy anniversary! Mbona hii mabati kina dad na mam bado inakaa mpya? Na hii nyumba imekuwa hapa for so many years. Na pia umelelewa hapa.
Wow, imagine hata nilikuwa sija notice. Rufus, wewe ni fundi wangu wa miaka mingi sana. Haya mabati yatadumu kweli? Huyu kijana nilimwambia anunue mabati ya Dumuzas.
Usibahatishe mabati. Hakikisha umeangalia alama za kudhibitisha Dumuzas halisi. Chagua Dumuzas, mabati inayodumu kudumu. Isitoshe, Dumuzas ndio mabati pekee inayokuja na warranty.
Sitaki tena kubahatisha.
Nilikuwa naishi Mlolongo, nikaamua kuweka duka South B ya spares. Nikatafuta rafiki yangu, akanipeleka kwa group, nikaanza savings na Equity. Wakati unataka loan, unaongea na Equity, group ina guarantee upewe hiyo pesa. Mabank zingine mpaka upeane kitu kama title deed, na nikaona sasa hii ya group hakuna kitu unaitishwa, ni kujicommit we mwenyewe. Nilichukua loan ya 30, kwanza ikanipelekea mtoto shule, nikaenda ya 70, nikajenga nyumba yangu, nikaenda 200 na nikaongeza kazi pia. Vile corona ilikuja March, kazi zilienda chini. Bank wakasema mwenye ako na loan tuende kwa bank. Kila mtu vile alikuwa amechukua loan yake kiwango yake akareduciwa. Kama Equity Bank haingepunguza loan yetu, maisha ingekuwa ngumu sana. Sasa nimekuwa marafiki na Equity Bank kabisa.
In Kenya, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Brushing with Pepsodent removes bacteria and repairs tiny holes before they become cavities. Because every smile matters.
Washing is not equal to cleaning. Cleasoft equals real clean.
Cleasoft cleans not just the surface of the clothes, removing stubborn stains easily. Effective antibacterial agent goes deep into the fibers, removing 99.99% of the hidden germ. Congratulations! You are the winner!
Disinfect and protect your home with Jick. Jick kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels, and dishcloths with Jick bleach. Just Jick it.
Like every mother, I'm worried about dangerous insects, especially mosquitoes, which spread diseases like malaria to my loved ones. This year, I'm not afraid. I'm using Mortein Doom. Mortein Doom All Insect Killer provides protection in seconds. Not even a single mosquito is spared, because even one mosquito bite can cause malaria. Mortein Doom provides protection in seconds.
Naam, karibu mtazamaji, tuangalie yaliyojiri michezoni. Kocha mkuu wa Kariobangi Sharks William Muluya amejiunga na benchi ya Harambee Stars kama kocha msaidizi. Muluya anajiunga na Twahir Muhidin pamoja na Ken Odhiambo wa Bandari FC kusaidia Jacob Ghost Mulee aliteuliwa kama kocha mkuu. Aidha, Hagaya Zande wa Tusker FC amejiunga kama mkufunzi wa magolkipa. Makocha hao wa Harambee Stars wana muda mfupi sana kuandaa timu itakayocheza mechi 2 dhidi ya Comoros. Tuelekee ughaibuni ambapo ligi ya UEFA usiku wa leo Real Madrid watakuwa wakiwawinda ushindi wao wa kwanza katika ligi hii msimu huu watakapomenyana na Borussia Mönchengladbach ya nchini Ujerumani. Kwenye kinyang'anyiro cha ligi ya mabingwa ya Ulaya, msimko mkubwa umefuatia ushindi huo wa mabao 3-2 ya miazi katika Bundesliga Jumamosi iliyopita. Na mtazamaji, na hadi kufikia hapo ndio tunahitimisha spoti kwa usiku huu. Kabla ya kufunga, narudisha studio. Na mtazamaji, na hadi kufikia hapo sina kilichozidi wala kilichopungua kutoka kwenye meza ya NTV Jioni. Kwa niaba ya wale wote walioshiriki kufanikisha matangazo usiku huu, akiwemo mwenzangu katika lugha ya ishara David Agondoa, niite Salim Swaleh, niridhike. Tuonane majaliwa, usiku mwanana. Kwa heri.
This is NTV.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Geisha shea butter and honey, made with the goodness of shea butter to moisturize dry skin.
Be strong and last long.
In Kenya, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Brushing with Pepsodent removes bacteria and repairs tiny holes before they become cavities. Because every smile matters.
Hey, Mavi, nini au what?
Hapo maembe tu ni 5 na 150.
Hai, si umenichaji 200.
Huyu ananunuaga bag.
Ni vile nachukua 2 tu.
Unajua huyu ni kutoka huko kwetu.
Nimetoka Kinango.
Unaona Jacobo anakuanga customer wangu regular sana.
Naitwa Benja.
Benja mtiaji.
While other networks discriminate, sisi hatubagui, tuna serve everybody with Airtel's amazing data bundles. Get 500 MB free daily, 3.5 GB free weekly, and 15 GB free monthly with every bundle purchase. Dial *544#. Not just for a few, but for every one of you. Airtel, the honest network.
Lifebuoy is the world's first to report it sanitizers over 99.9% effective against the COVID-19 coronavirus. Keep using Lifebuoy or any sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Stay safe.
I wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap with activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and New Geisha Moringa.
This is NTV.
Business Redefined in association with KCB Bank.
As always, this is your weekly most comprehensive look at the world of business and economics. Welcome to Business Redefined. I am Julian Amboko, and tonight we are discussing matters, the sandbox. Now, you'll remember in March 2019, the Capital Markets Authority issued the sandbox regulations, and many are still asking, what exactly is a sandbox and why is it critical for Kenya's capital markets? Well, on set, I'm joined by the Manager for Corporate Approvals and the Chairperson of the Sandbox Review Committee, that's Mr. Nyalo Yanga at the CMA. Welcome on set.
Thank you, Julian.
It's been a long journey getting to this point, and maybe just by way of introduction, very briefly, a sandbox, of course, we appreciate it's an environment, a framework, I should say, where companies are allowed to test a number of products without a very stringent regulatory environment. But just make us understand this. What exactly does this seek to achieve?
So the sandbox is an exact concept whereby somebody is in a space where they are not having any pressure on regulatory constraints, and they can be able to test their innovations in whichever manner they conceive them, or in whichever manner makes sense to them, without any regulatory intervention. So when you talk about regulatory sandboxes world over, it's simple, a safe space for innovators to showcase their innovations and how those innovations will play a role in the capital markets value chain without fear of a regulator coming to them and tell them you are violating this law or the other.
If you read reviews from across the globe, whether we're looking at London, Joburg, Australia, regarding the regulatory sandbox, many have argued that it is an attempt, and some have actually qualified to say a belated attempt by regulators such as CMA to try and catch up with the blockchain and crypto-backed assets kind of developments, which we have seen gaining traction across the globe. What are your thoughts on this?
I think to some extent that is true. And I think first it's important to say that innovations, regulations follow innovations. And that's for a good reason, because before you develop certain regulations to check and protect investors, as a regulator, you want to understand what is this innovation about. So it's properly in order to allow innovations to thrive, and then the regulator to come and see what type of safeguards you want to put in place to develop some space to secure the interest of investors. So in the innovation world, of course, there have been a lot of hype on blockchain, crypto assets related space. But we'll surprise you that in our sandbox, there are quite a number of innovations which come our way. Actually, the blockchain and the crypto currency, whatever, is just a small subset of the innovations globally look like. So in our sandbox, for example, we have been testing things to do with securities lending and borrowing platforms, for example. Yeah. Crowdfunding platforms. You are looking at tokenization of assets, for example. You are looking at robo-advisory, where you would go to an investment advisor and you give them your risk profile, and based on that, they tell you can invest in assets 1, 2, 3. Here is a system which can capture that and give you a snapshot of where you are as an investor. So there are quite a number of innovations which come through, blockchain related being just a subset of them.
Some critics of Kenya being an innovation hub, or Silicon Savannah as normally said, normally argue that the challenge with what we call as the Kenyan innovation is that it's just a build-up. So for example, if you look at a lot of the fintech that we look at, it's really pivoting the mobile payments platform. So it's just an add-on, for example, to a product which already exists. Is this something you are witnessing, or what are your thoughts around this?
Yes, it's something which you're witnessing, but of course there are also other innovations which play totally outside that basic framework. Of course, I think as a country we are proud that we are one of the pioneers of M-Pesa, for example, and M-Akiba, which is a mobile money-enabled bond where you can bind fixed income securities through your mobile phone. That formed the foundation for other innovations to thrive out of them. So we've been having innovations which are building on that platform. How best do you link your monies in M-Pesa to an investment product through a certain platform, and with the proper safeguards that come to it. But also, most importantly, you have other innovations which are totally outside the base of the M-Pesa or the mobile money networks.
And Sandbox ideally would seek to attract more innovators into the domicile market. Is this something you'd say you're witnessing thus far in the Kenyan space?
We have been attracting both domestic innovators as well as global innovators who come to test their products in our sandbox. And just to mention that even some of the innovators are actually big entities, big mobile network operators who want to say, I have this particular innovation. I'm not very sure how it will play out. Can I test it in the sandbox? We have big licensees of ours who are already in the space, but they have a certain innovation that they want to test. And so it is attracting both the local and also both international. We have had interest from people from Abu Dhabi coming to test their products here. We have had interest from people from the UK and from all other parts of the world, making a lot of inquiries on how they can test their products. And for us as a country, I think that's a positive thing, because once they test their ideas here and those ideas are proven to be successful and they set up shop here, I think we are creating more products for our market, as well as creating jobs for our people.
I see. Mr. Younger, if you look at the structure for jurisdictions such as Singapore, as far as the regulatory sandbox is concerned, there are incentives. For example, tax exemptions for companies which are trying some of these products in that sort of environment. We don't seem to have such in Kenya. Do you feel that is a derailing factor?
I think to start with that, I think different countries have different policies. Different countries adopt different regulatory approaches, and the same is replicated by the tax authorities. So we can't 100% replicate what other countries are doing in terms of tax incentives. But I think what we are seeing in our country, and from the experience of those firms which are coming into the sandbox, that is not necessarily a big inhibitor, considering some of them are already big players who have been paying taxes anyway, and part of them being good citizens, they have been doing that. We also have startups. We can't say it is 100% smooth. We also have startups who would have benefited from such tax incentives. But I think from the experience we have, when people are coming to test the idea, they are more concerned about, will this idea make business case? Will it be successful once it's tested? Once I roll it out to the mass market, will I be able to make money? Will it add value in the capital markets value chain?
One of the challenges that we normally witness out here, they'll tell you, is that we have a number of extremely complex products being rolled out, yet we have relatively weak uptake of even the very simple products. For example, trading stocks, the activity in the retail side is not as robust as perhaps we would have desired it to be, yet we're talking about derivatives and many other products, and now we're talking about even a regulatory sandbox. Don't you think perhaps more emphasis should be laid on widening the knowledge on the already existing products, just to play the devil's advocate here?
I think you're right. I think we have done very well as a market and as a regulator to introduce as many products as we can in our market. Of course, it's a journey, just like any other jurisdictions have gone through when they introduce new products. It takes time for some of them to mature. But as we allow those products to mature, I think it's important that as a regulator also we continue working with the basics. Why it's called a capital markets is because it's a place where the people who have the money and the people who need the money, they come and meet. And that is the basic principle. Either it's equity capital raising, whether it's debt capital raising, that is the basic principle of a capital market. And so I think in as much as we are really pushing forward and trying to see all these other products come on board, which is good, and we are allowing them to take their natural course for them to become mature. If you look like the derivatives market, for example, it has started slowly, but I think it's building up. Among other products which probably we have put the necessary regulatory frameworks, but the uptake has not been that much. We see it as a process. Rome was not built in a day. Even where you go to the very developed markets, they did not have the framework, and these products started and ballooned overnight. But the basic principle is the essence of a capital markets is that linkage between the people who have the monies and the people who want to borrow that monies, where they meet, the infrastructure. And so we are looking at a conversation whereby probably it's not more again about introducing other sophisticated investments, but how do we deepen and broaden the current market which is there. So for example, if you look at the trades, you have the banks which are there, which are doing very good. Safaricom, a very nice counter. How do we ensure that there's more liquidity in these companies which are already there? So you probably may want to have as many listed companies as possible, but if you have the likes of KCB, Safaricom, 10 of them, that's already a very deep market. And that's why we are introducing products like securities lending and borrowing, so that if you are a big fund manager, instead of having your 1 million shares and sitting there for the rest of 10, 15 years because you're looking at a very long-term outlook, you can lend them and still earn a fee out of them. And in that case, then you are still broadening and deepening the capital markets within the existing products which are already there. So look at it, it's a journey, but I think we are getting there.
All right. And that point by Mr. Younger takes us to a short break. Remember, we're discussing the regulatory sandbox spearheaded by the Capital Markets Authority. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with a lot more.
wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap with activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and New Geisha Moringa.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
To help fight the spread of coronavirus, learn Lifebuoy's hand washing habits. Wash hands with soap or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Together, let's help fight the spread of coronavirus in Kenya.
Maisha Mabati Tips, made out of aluminium and zinc to last longer than any other mabati. Affordable and value for money. Most preferred and favorite mabati. Used in both housing and projects. KEBS certified.
The new Maisha Aluzinc Mabati from Maisha Mabati Limited. For the first time in Kenya, a roofing product that combines aesthetics with proven resilience. Its unique combination of aluminium and zinc gives it a 5 times longer lifespan than normal mabati.
Get to Bonge 10 and enjoy 100 minutes Airtel to Airtel. Upgrade to Bonge Plus 20 to get 100 free minutes Airtel to Airtel plus 10 additional minutes to all networks. Dial star 544 hash. Not just for a few, but for every one of you. Airtel, the honest network.
The aerial challenge is moving across Kenya, improving Kenyans' lives by saving them money, offering brilliant stain removal in one wash.
Wino ni mojawapo wa madoa sugu ambayo hayatoki kwa nguo, sio?
Let us see which detergent removes stubborn stains.
Na tofauti kwa hizi vitambaa zangu mbili. Kitambaa gani imeokoa pesa kina mama? Napenda aerial kwa sababu mwosho wake ni mmoja tu. Hata ndio hii nimenunua mara yangu ya kwanza.
Watch out for the aerial challenge coming to a town near you.
You're watching Business Redefined in association with KCB Bank.
Welcome back to this edition of Business Redefined. Tonight we are discussing the regulatory sandbox and how this is impacting the capital markets in Kenya and market development by and large. And on set, I'm joined by Nyale Yanga, who is the Corporate Approvals Manager at CMA and of course the Chairperson of the Sandbox Review Committee. There is out here, if you look at reviews from across the globe, that many times we don't ask the question, how much does it cost to run this sandbox regulatory environment? How is it from the Kenyan standpoint?
Yeah, so I think that's a fair point, and there are different approaches. There are different sandbox approaches which different jurisdictions have adopted. Now, to split them into two, just to make them simple, you can have a physical sandbox or what we call a virtual sandbox. Now, in a physical setup, of course, you have the physical infrastructure, you have the office space, you have computers, you provide internet, there's manpower, people who can take people to test their products there. That becomes expensive. Because you need to provide all the necessary infrastructure. The route we took ourselves is to have a virtual sandbox where our role is to guide innovators how to navigate the regulatory framework, how to test their innovations from the comfort of where they are working from their own offices, where they are working from home, or whichever part of the globe they're working with. And that is serving us very well, because even in instances where the COVID pandemic has brought, where physical interactions has been reduced, people can still test their products at the comfort of their homes. Now, when you are looking at Kenya becoming the center of business and being the heart of African capital markets, then you're not looking at people who are domiciled here. You are having people who are testing their products all the way from the UK, all the way from Abu Dhabi. And so even having that physical infrastructure, I think over time, it's going to be thinner and thinner, and people are moving more towards virtual sandboxes. So in our side, not very expensive, of course. There's a lot of human manpower which is involved in it, and a lot of time. The Sandbox Review Committee draws from subject matter experts from various departments who come together to look at these innovations, and most importantly, even to handhold them, to understand the route they are going, to understand what is the ultimate objective, to understand the business case, and not to put themselves in their shoes, but to guide them to see that if this was tweaked in one or two aspects, then we expect this to deepen our capital markets. So expensive, yes, because we use a lot of manpower in it, but not as expensive as we would have had if we had a physical space and run as physical sandbox.
Please walk us through the life cycle from admission into this regulatory environment to the exit, and what options do we have as an entity having gotten to the exit point?
Two parts. One, when you look at somebody who is coming into the sandbox, there's the part which is on them to prepare first. So you need to have the necessary documentation. You have looked at our policy guidance note. You have looked at the checklists you need to put there. You have your business plan. That is before they even come to the regulator. You have put in place your test case and your test subjects. What are you testing? Which people will you use? So if I use an example without naming names, if, for example, you want to link investments, savings to investments, for example. So you need to know how many people will you approach for them to be willing to test with you. So you put all those documentations together. Now you come to the authority with something which you can test. Now, once you make those applications to us, we commit to 14 working days. We will have come back to you, either telling you this is a good idea, or can we understand better? Can you come for a presentation so that we start the journey? Now, once we have gone through that back and forth, because we'll tell you, can you look at it this way? What is the risk? What is the target? What is the business case? Have you entered into any contact with the person which you'll be the test subject in this particular matter? And all that is done. You also need to tell us, according to your test plan, how long do you think you can test this product to achieve a certain level of comfort that if you are to roll it to market, you'll have addressed all the significant risk and it's good to be scaled to business. Now, our policy guidance note gives 1 year for people to test, and in a very stretched circumstance, if within 1 year you have not achieved all your test objectives, we extend you another 1 year. So in a very stretched level, we talk about 2 years for you to be in the sandbox. But from experience, guys have been able to test their parameters and finish their test plan and achieve good results in less than 1 year.
Okay. Yeah. Upon which, if it's positive, then I get to the exit point? Or?
Yes, exactly. So I think upon exit, we have various options. One, you could be testing something which is in line with a certain license. Probably the regulations just need to be tweaked to accommodate. So you can be licensed. You become a licensee of the authority. In some instances, you can be given a no objection for you to operate in the capital markets. If the testing did not go well and the test results were not achieved, then it can be a denial that you cannot operate in this particular market. So the end result is majorly determined by what was the objective, what was the type of innovation that was being tested.
And some have argued, reading reports from various regulatory environments across the globe, that the evidence of sandbox-driven regulatory change is scanty. Just to say that much as we are gaining so much traction with many jurisdictions adopting the sandboxes, the evidence that they are actually yielding the desired impact is very small. What do you say about this?
So I think we could look at some basic statistics. In 2016, when the Financial Conduct Authority in the US started this idea of the sandbox, you are looking at around 68 firms which showed interest. Around 24 of them went ahead to test their ideas. If you look at the Australian side, when they started, around 257 companies showed interest. A number of them fell through, of course, I would expect, and a number of them proceeded. If you look at Abu Dhabi global markets, for example, we are talking about 68 companies showing interest for the first cohort, and that has been a journey going on. So if you look at these statistics, even if you don't look at the numbers, the impact, even if half of these ideas were to materialize, then in a market where you have received 60, 70, 200 expression of interest, even if you have 50 of them materializing and they go to scale, you can imagine the impact in terms of job creation, in terms of businesses for people, increasing wealth, and diversity in terms of asset classes. But having said that also, the regulatory sandbox is not the only avenue where regulators use to regulate the market. So there's an area of they need to complement each other. You have the regulatory sandbox. You have some regulators who have chosen in some instances, wait and see. Let me see how this innovation evolve, then I'll come in. There are those who would outrightly give an objection, like we do in some instances, or amend the regulation to accommodate that particular innovation. We have instances like in the ongoing debate on digital currencies and everything. You have had some central banks who have actually developed their own prototype so that they understand this particular innovation. So as a regulator, all these instruments are at your disposal. It's just a matter of how do they complement each other and what do you want to use at what particular time.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the drawbacks which has been cited facing sandboxes in various jurisdictions is that majority of them are single regulator led as opposed to multi-regulator led. Do you feel this is a justified concern? And Kenya, I think in the Kenyan case, we are single regulator led. How is this impacting you?
You're right. And where you find that the sandboxes are single regulator led, you'll find that at the background, there is one regulator for the whole financial sector. But also, there are also other jurisdictions which are structured like ours, where you have regulators looking at the same financial sector, just like the way we have in Kenya. So you have the central bank looking at the banks, we have here looking at capital markets, retirement benefits, insurance, and SACCOs, which is not a bad thing in itself. The most important thing is how do we collaborate? How do we come together to ensure that there are no regulatory linkages, there are no regulatory arbitrage in the process? And when it comes to innovators, how do we ensure by working together an innovator can have a seamless process of rolling out their innovation, irrespective of just focusing on who is spearheading the regulatory sandbox. So for example, we have worked very well with the other regulators. Actually, there is a joint financial sector regulators forum where the technical people meet and headed by the joint boards. And within the structure of that, there is a committee which looks at innovations and technology and everything. That's one aspect. But also at sandbox level, when we get an applicant who, for example, is testing something in capital markets, it has an angle in banking or an angle in insurance, then it's a phone call away because we work together, we liaise with our fellow regulators to see how that can be progressed.
How many firms do we have right now active in the sandbox environment, and what's the progress?
Yeah, so far we have 7 firms which we have admitted into the sandbox. We have also some firms which have given them some no objections to proceed and get the test partners. But what is more good for us is that we have a pipeline of around 10 to 15 companies which are keep on coming to us, can I test this, can I test this? And they're at various levels of testing. Or inquiries and trying to put the documentation together. So in fact, when we look at our targets, when we are coming up with the framework, the results have been very positive. We have actually overshot some of those expectations, and the future looks like many more companies will be coming to test their sandbox.
Right, and that point by Mr. Yanga takes us to the close of our conversation on Business Redefined tonight, where we have been focusing on the regulatory sandbox spearheaded by the Capital Markets Authority and the incubation of the ideas which are being funneled on that side. Up next is the Markets Report.
Business Redefined in association with KCB Bank.
Go ahead is believing to make each day a brighter day. It is showing everyone that we can all be heroes. That is the Kenyan spirit.
I help women find independence by training them in fish farming. It's tough on my back, joints, and can cause headaches. Panadol Extra relieves multiple types of pain. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
I wish I could have soft and glowing skin.
New Geisha Black Soap. With activated charcoal to give you soft and glowing skin. New Geisha Black Soap and New Geisha Moringa.
Niaje? Ni how much? Ni 20 bob. Kata.
Ni how much?
Hii ni so.
Hii ni 20 bob na hii ni so na zote ni the same size.
Madam, the price of mutura is calculated by the formula. The length multiplied by the circumference to the power of the kafirifiri. Now, as you can see, yours has more kafirifiri than the other one. Endelea.
While other networks discriminate, sisi hatubagui, tuna serve everybody. Get to Bonge 10 and enjoy 100 minutes Airtel to Airtel. Upgrade to Tubonge Plus 20 to get 100 free minutes Airtel to Airtel, plus 10 additional minutes to all networks. Dial star 544 hash. Not just for a few, but for every one of you. Airtel, the honest network.
The pandemic has left more destruction than even the virus itself. Our business is still there thanks to things like EasyPay and EasyBiz. We're moving paperless, we're moving cashless with equity.
Answer's here!
Wow, what a nice gift. I would definitely give this next time.
Cousins Baby Gift Pack, a carefully selected range of safe baby products with natural goodness, trusted for decades by millions of moms across Africa. Cousins Baby, the gift that keeps on giving.
Washing is not equal to cleaning. CleanSoft equals real clean.
CleanSoft cleans not just the surface of the clothes, removing stubborn stains easily. Effective antibacterial agent goes deep into the fibers, removing 99.99% of the hidden germ. Congratulations! You are the winner!
When I was in prison, I thought a lot about you.
This is not acceptable!
We know you love milk, and now there is milk that loves you. With Gold Crown lactose-free milk, you can enjoy the richness of natural cow's milk without any of the digestion discomfort. Gold Crown lactose-free, milk that loves you.
Dirt and germs shouldn't get in your way. Carex Hand Wash, your trusted antibacterial protection, cleans, cares, and protects you and your family for life's little adventures. Say yes to life.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water, and shake. Stay Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Do more to protect yourself and family from viruses that remain on the clothes. Separate laundry that has been exposed and do not shake to minimize the possibility of dispersing the virus through the air. Soaking your laundry in water and hand